Good evening, everybody. I think we're about ready to get started here. I'd like to call the February 19th, 2024 meeting of the Crooked Creek Art League to order. It's good to see everyone here tonight. I'm looking forward to hearing from our speaker, Barbara Yongue. She's going to be doing a live painting demonstration for us tonight. So thank you, Barbara, for coming and sharing your talent with us. Should be very exciting. Do we have any new members here tonight? Raise your hand if you're a new member, because I'm going to have you introduce yourself. Okay, why don't we start here? If you could give us your name and just maybe tell us what type of art you do. All right, great. Well, thank you for being here, and we're glad you are a new member. Let's see, who else was there? Okay. Susan Sherman. Glad to have you here, Susan. Who else? Yes? All right, Sandy Schmitz, did you say? Okay. And who else did we have? Okay, John Cumming. Well, glad to have you here with us tonight. And do we have any guests with us? Can you stand up and introduce yourself? All right, great. I'm glad to have you. Any other guests? Okay. Okay, one more? Okay, well, glad to have you with us here tonight. Okay, it looks like we got a good crowd here, and we're looking forward to our evening. So I'd like to thank everyone who provided refreshments for us tonight, because we always enjoy something to eat. So thank you for everyone, and thank you to Carol and Harold Blackwood for getting it all set up and arranged. We appreciate your work doing that. So just a reminder that we'll not have our regular meeting on the third Monday of March. Rather, we will be meeting the following Saturday, March 23rd from 5 to 7, and then with cleanup afterwards for our 29th annual jury show reception and award ceremony. The refreshments and social time will start at 5, and the award ceremony will follow at 6 o'clock. The park will only be open for the reception that evening and will be closed to all other activities that normally happen here. So make sure and get that on your calendar. That'll be March 23rd. So it takes a lot of volunteers to help put this event together. So I'd like to thank our jury show coordinators, Sonia Demler and Sierra Panetta, who have already done so much these past few months to prepare, but they still need your help in some of the remaining areas to make the event such a success. So please consider volunteering to helping with the remaining needs by looking at the sign-up sheets on the check-in table and sign up for an area that you might be able to help with. I know that bringing food is just one of the things we need, and I think everybody should bring something. Is that correct? Or let you know? Yeah, if everybody just brings some food, that'll be great, because we'll have a lot of mouths to feed. Or you can make a small monetary donation towards buying some of the food that we'll need to buy, the food and drinks. So there'll also be some miscellaneous jobs that'll need to be done the day of the show. So if at all you can volunteer for anything, please check out the sign-up sheets, because I know that they could really use your help. Let's see. Yes. You can give it to Sonia here, or me, and I can get it to Sonia. Just, yeah. Okay, we'd appreciate anything you can do. So I'd also like to publicly thank Carrie Summer for her time and effort and expertise in preparing our postcards and posters for the show. Carrie, where are you? There's Carrie back there of Chapin Magazine. They're both very well done, and we appreciate her taking on these projects. Just, very well done. So we need to distribute the postcards and posters as a way of advertising our shows. So please, on the table over there, you'll see a stack of the postcards, and the posters are over there as well. Okay, there they are. So please pick some up if you haven't already and send them out to your friends, people in your circles. We need to get the word out that the show is coming up, and it's going to be a great show. So we need to get the word out and get the posters up in some of the stores and businesses in the area so people know that we're going to have a great show here. And I also want to remind you that there's only a few more days to register your artwork for the show. This online registration only. You can't just show up and bring your artwork on Saturday. You've got to pre-register online. So Saturday is the day we're going to have take-in of the artwork. So yeah, so Thursday at midnight is the deadline to register. So go home tonight if you haven't registered, fill out all the information. There's going to be a lot of awards to pass out. And so we need to get some more artwork. Plus, it's just really great to put on this show. And if you walk the halls, they just wrap clear around this huge building. And it is so fun to just watch. Just look at all the artwork, one right after the other. And we've got so many talented artists here. It's just a great thing to come to. So get registered, complete your registration today, but Thursday midnight is the deadline. So let's make this the best show ever and have so many pieces of artwork to share with the community. And remember that delivery of the artwork is this Saturday from 10 to noon. Anything else on the show? Okay. Also connected with that, Rick Rhodes will be at Crooked Creek Park on Wednesday, the February 28th, with a full setup to take high quality photographs of your artwork. This will be for 2D artwork only. So you can request a time for his service by completing the form online. If you go on our website, right at the top of the front page, there's a little icon that talks about photographing the artwork. So if you click on that, you'll be taken to a site where you can sign up for that. Limit your number of artworks to 3 so that many members can take advantage of this offer. The charge will be $30 cash per painting photographed. And in return, Rick will deliver to you a 10-inch 300 DPI TIFF and JPEG and a low res JPEG for web use of each painting. All right, so we got that coming up. That's the main thing right now, but looking into the future just a little bit, registration will be open for the library exhibit on March 1st and will run through April 17th. So be thinking of what you might put in the library exhibit. Again, you can find all the details as well and the prospectus online under the events category. Delivery of the art to the Irma Library will be on Saturday, April 27th. And this is a non-juried show. There'll be a People's Choice winner and a ribbon will be awarded, but it's not a juried show. And the artwork will be on display at the library until June 1st. We have an upcoming workshop April 12th and 13th with Susan Mayfield. Her workshop is entitled Go Bold, Painting Dynamic Pastel Landscapes. So again, please check out the details and register online for this great workshop. Our last meeting of the year will be in May, and we will have our annual May contest. And this is where members will bring one piece of their artwork and also bring an easel to the meeting. What we're going to do is set up all the easels with the art pieces in this room. And then for our meeting, we will have a chance for all of us to go around and look at all the art. And then each person that brings something will get just a moment or two to say, tell about their artwork. And so it's really fun to see what everybody brings. And I think we award ribbons So that's something special too. So be thinking ahead to that. The theme for that contest will be sights from around the world. So that's pretty open-ended. Lots of things that you could see in our world. Yeah. So anyway, more information, all the details can be found on the website under events, and registration is open now through May 17th. Finally, I've got a card on the table if you'd like to sign a get well greeting for one of our board members, Sandra Oliver, who was recently hospitalized and could use our prayers. So there's a couple of get well cards on the table for her. You're also welcome to send individual cards if you'd like. And also, I'd like to express condolences to our league member, Bob Carlson, for the loss of his wife, Chris, recently. Chris was a member of our league since 2002 and was a dear friend to many of us. So we're all going to miss Chris and her contribution to our league, as well as all of her beautiful artwork. So remember Bob, and may her memory be a blessing to all of us who knew her. So there's a card on the table for Bob as well to sign. And Ruby brought a couple of prayer squares too, that if you would like to make a knot and say a prayer for Sandra, and then also Shirley's husband. We've got 2 prayer squares on our table, Shirley Britton's husband. So lots to be thinking about there. So, all right, well, I'd like to turn the meeting now over to our Vice President, Lady McWilliams, who will introduce our speaker for this evening.
Okay, it's my pleasure to introduce you to, let me see. Am I on? Oh, okay. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Barbara Yongue, and I'm going to read this so I don't miss anything, okay? Barbara Alston Yongue was born in Memphis, Tennessee, and raised in Ohio. She's studied and continues to study art for almost as long as she's been alive. An art major in college, she's continued her education with such well-known artists as Daniel Green, Nelson Shanks, Janet Fish, Tony Ryder, Charlie Hunter. She's a member of Oil Painters of America, Trinum Art Guild, and the art group known as About Face. She enjoys portraiture, still life painting, and plein air. Among the many awards that Barbara has received, she's been a 9-time winner of the Columbia Museum of Art Monthly Challenge. She's had the Best in Show for Crooked Creek Art League. Thank you. Twice. She's the champion 2 times Columbia Museum of Art face-off event, 2 runner-up for Art Field's portrait competition, 2015 judge for Arts on the Ridge in Ridgeway, South Carolina, and she's the president of Fairfield Art Council, well, she was in 2018. She was also the facilitator for plein air competition in Art Fields in 2023. So she's got a long list of accolades, and we welcome her, and I'm excited to see what she does for us tonight. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you. What a crowd. Woo! I normally will start a painting and then let it dry and then work back in it. So today I only got an hour. So I wanted to bring 2 examples of finished works in case this does not turn out exactly right. So anyway, I'm not going to teach you how to paint. I'm just going to show you how I paint. Before I start, though, I want to make what I think is a very exciting announcement. I am the facilitator for Art Fields, the plein air competition. It's going to be May 4th, and it's a wet paint competition. So last year, I think top prize was $600. We play 3 places, but I think we're going to try to up it to $1,000 for first place and then step it down. So it's well worth your time if you like to paint in plein air. So I hope you'll keep that into consideration. And when I get all the details worked out, I will be sending it to your art league along with other art leagues so that if you're interested, you can sign up and be a participant in that. And it's going to be the day of the big awards at Art Field. So it will give the awards at 3 o'clock, and then the awards for the big Art Fields thing will be at 6. And also, in conjunction with this, Ann Hightower Patterson White's going to be the judge for that. So very good, very good. Excited to have you do that. So, just to say a little bit about what I'm going to be painting on, this is a toned oil primed linen that TC Bowers mounts for me on foam core. So I get these with him doing the work and me buying the linen sheets, which comes in a sheet, for about $7.50 a piece, which I think is very reasonable for oil primed linen, and it's wonderful to paint on, much better than cotton canvas, in my opinion. Also, I don't know how many people are oil painters, but this is a wonderful thing. I've been using it for years. It's Neo McGilp, and I'm going to just put a thin layer on the canvas before I start painting. If I can get it open, there we go. Hmm? No, I do that. No, but he did 10 for me before I came over here. What this does is it's a dryer, so the paint will be dry later on today, or I mean, you know, if I was painting in the morning or early, or maybe, you know, tomorrow. It's Neo McGilp. It's made by Robert Gamblin, and it's about $30-something for this, I think. But it'll last a long time. All right, so you're gonna help. Okay, that looks good.
There we go.
Thank you, Barbara. All right. I'm also using lamp black instead of ivory black, and I also use only lead white. It's just, I love that lead white. Huh? Yeah. A paper towel?
You're putting paint on the rag, is what she's
Yeah,
asking.
no, yeah, I'm painting just like a brush. If you have a question, you'll need to ask it real loud because I don't hear very well. Wherever feels right, kind of, yeah. I always paint flowers from life, and as much as possible, I paint from life. Of course, sometimes you have to use photographs, but in my opinion, if it limits me as an artist if I paint from a photograph, because I'm trying to copy the photograph and not trying to be an artist. I'm just trying to be a copier of the photograph. So I'm just kind of loose, and I'm working on being looser, actually.
Do you do portraits this way when you're about face? Do you do?
It's best to be general and then work towards the specific.
Yeah.
But you know, I kind of do the same thing everybody does, do the kind of divide it and then, you know, just do the shadows and try not to put the eyelashes in the first minute, you know, that kind of thing, you know, because you know, yeah. Portraiture is actually my first love, and that's where I've had all my training.
Hours lately though,
Well, you know, they're handy,
and they're pretty.
and they are, and they sell. Generally, I have to wait about a day and then I go back in. And I always try to take a photograph because flowers do move. So you wouldn't think they would, but they do.
You don't have a lot of paint on your palette. Are you mixing your colors?
I pre-mixed them while I was waiting for everything. Basically, it's just, with the exception of the lamp black and the lead white, it's a pretty standard, just squeeze out of the tube several greens and some pinks and that kind of thing, so. But the lead white, if you paint in oils, is really a game changer, in my opinion. Oh.
Rather than titanium.
Hmm.
Rather than titanium.
Titanium bleaches things out and makes them dull, and lead white does not. It mellows the colors. It's just, titanium is so strong, it's chalky. If you're going to paint a sky, then you can use titanium, but I mean, like in portraiture, she should never use lead white. I mean, never use titanium. You should always use lead white.
One more question. If you're trying to get looser, how are you working to make yourself get looser?
Well, I took from Nelson Shanks years ago, and he's dead now, but he was getting $400,000 a painting. And this is what I mean, that was like watching a sword player, I'm not quite up to that level, but I don't charge $400,000 a painting. So I'm figuring if I stand way out, and they were like going at it like they were fighting, and I thought, man, that is so cool. I'm not on that level. But as soon as I'm going to $400,000.
I know.
He was a marvelous teacher. I mean, he was really fabulous. How's it looking? You have to stand back, and I can't stand back. Oh, hell, it looks better up there. Oh, I'm sorry. There's at-home viewers, aren't there? Language.
They're all adults.
If you get tight too soon, there's nowhere else to go. And then all you do is just keep on squeezing it down, and then you just kill the joy in it. So to me, it's better to paint loose and then tighten up a little bit later. But I'm guilty of making it too tight still afterwards. I don't like that. All right, let's see. I got these cheap brushes. I got to show you what was happening with my brush. Well, I like it because it's soft, but it was too soft apparently.
Barbara, what brand lead white do you use?
It's called Randy at City Art recommended this. It says silver white, but it's lead white. Feel the weight on this. Huh?
Full line. Full line.
I mean, it's very heavy, but it's a huge difference. I mean, I promise, if you're using titanium white and if you change to this, you'll really love it. but it's not a strong. I mean, it's not going to tint like titanium does, but it's a mellow. It's just wonderful. It's Holbein. I think it was $48. I bought a tiny tube today of vermilion. I forget, I might have been Holbein at Jerry's. It was $48 for one of those little, it was like, oh man, this better be good.
Oh, it's your jewels, right?
Yeah, oh my God. What I like about the lamp black is it dries matte and it's just it's so good.
You start with flowers first and then you put background color around the flowers.
I did tonight. I don't always do that. I just, it needed that lightening, because this was the same color pretty much as my background. And I toned it that way because it would help me, because was almost the same color as what I started with. So I didn't have to work a whole lot of dark and light. I mean, it was pretty much mid-tone already. Forgot what I had on my brush. Pardon me? Well, zinc is a very, there's not much use for zinc. I mean, it's just like a veil of nothing. I mean, but I have it. Don't get me wrong, I have it. Oh, if I had one with me, I could show you. It's a very, I mean, you want to use that almost never. Uh, you know, if you've got maybe, let's say you put too much red tones in a face, you could do like a thin veil of zinc white to help tone that down, because white cools everything. I mean, you had white, it's cool automatically. But zinc white is pretty useless. I mean, it's just pretty useless. But that's just my opinion, okay? I mean, I'm just telling you, my opinion is it's useless. And isn't it so nice to have pre-mixed colors? You don't have to sit there and think about it. I mean, I try to do that. I don't always do it because, sometimes you just see something, you don't have the color mix, but it's nice, especially in landscape painting. Because, who paints plein air here? Okay, well, it's just tough because and in 15 minutes the light's completely different, so you're chasing the light. So you kind of know what colors you're going to need if you're going to be painting sunset or sunrise or mid-afternoon, because you just look and see and then just have them squeezed out and pre-mixed as much as possible. Darn, it looks good on screen. You came to see how a real painter painted, didn't you?
That's right.
How much time I got? Who's the timekeeper? I gotta paint that much longer? Huh? Okay.
I have an online question. What size brush do you use?
Hmm?
What size brush do you use?
The one that I meant, whatever, which one I pick up. You know, I mean, honestly, I try to use as big as possible, but when you're on a little 11 by 14 like this, you can't use a size 12 too much. All right, I'm gonna quit. I mean, I could keep on, but I'm not going to improve it at this point. So I might. I mean, I've done that before. Does anyone want this brush as a door prize? I'm just saying. All right. All right. Does anyone have any questions? No, no, no. Yes? Wait a minute. Oh, Nia McGilp by Robert Gamblin. It's David LaFell uses something like it. It's Robert Gamblin's answer to Maroget, and David LaFell uses Maroget, but Gamblin makes it's kind of the same product, and he mixes it in with each dab of paint. But I like to put it on the canvas, and then like tomorrow, if this is dry. I mean, it has to be completely dry, but if it's dry, I'll put another coat over it and go back in. And honestly, that separation coat will make your colors pop. But it has to be completely dry before you can do that. And it brings it, you know, you've heard of oiling out. Well, oiling out, it kind of does the same thing as oiling out, except it's better. And it gives kind of like a hard coating. And then when you go back over that and you've got to make those flowers come forward, it allows you to do so. It gives you a much more vibrant painting. So I brought a frame, you know, I'm big on frames. So let's see how it looks in a frame. But now I would not call this done. I'm just saying done for now. Oh, the wire. There was something messing it up. Thank you. Get it in there. So to me, the framing is every bit as important as the thing you're putting in it. I've seen wonderful paintings in awful frames, and I've seen beautiful paintings the other way, whatever way I said. Anyway, it's not going to stay. It's too heavy. But anyway, huh? Yeah. Oh. Probably looks better on screen. All right, so there you have it. There were some other questions, wasn't there, or not? You have to speak up with me.
Thinning your oil.
I really wasn't thinning it. I'm just cleaning my brushes in this. I wasn't using any kind of medium.
What's in there? What is it?
Oh, Robert Gamlin's odorless mineral spirits. Gamsol. Galcid. The Neo McGilp is a drying, but now I put it on. You weren't here earlier, were you, when I started? So I coated it first. I just took a thin coating and, kind of wiped it off to give me a base to work on. And then when this is dry, I'll go back in it again and make those colors pop. It'll take one more time to really get it good, and maybe two more times.
Plein air painting.
Oh, yeah. Well, it depends. If you're in a competition and you got to turn it in at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you can't go in it tomorrow. It's done. Yeah. Well, it really makes things dry pretty quickly, depending on how thick. Now, if you do thick impasto, it's not going to be dry, but you can do that in your final stages and it'll look good.
Back in, you go back in with it. Brush it with the Neo McGilp again, or do you just go in with regular?
No, I go back in. When this is dry, I'll put a coat on it again and go back in it when it's wet. I don't wait on it to dry. And honestly, it just makes a huge difference. And I'm going to throw a name out there. Blue Sky taught me that one. Okay, About Face meets at 701 Whaley, the second and fourth Tuesday of every month. They have a portrait model, starts at 6 o'clock and runs till about 8. And then the figure model starts at 7:15 and goes to about 9. It's $10, and that's for if you paint just one or both of them. It's just $10 for the whole night. And it's a wonderful group. I've been a member for years.
It's at a new location too.
Yeah, but I've not been to the new one. Yes. I started painting when I was a little girl. My mother and daddy, now I'm not saying I was any good, but I'm going to say your parents' support is a big bonus. And I had their support. And I mean, they took me to art classes and all that, but they used to, now we didn't have art supplies at my house. We had lined notebook paper and a regular number 2 pencil. And they would say, draw Ron Weathers. And I'd be like, on this lined notebook paper? But anyway, from the time I was a little girl. So I've always enjoyed art, and I enjoy other people's art. I've been a collector all my life too. So I love art. Yes.
Ever use it directly with paints?
I have, but I find that for me, it works better this way. But now David LaFell mixes his Mirage in with his paints. And, that probably makes them dry a little bit faster than the way I do it, because it's actually mixed in with the paint, whereas I'm using it as a base to paint on top. So
What is the difference? That one and like the medium, a medium that I'm, anyway, but just a gambling.
you mean like linseed oil and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Huh?
Like
Well,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a dryer too, isn't it, Galka? It's like
Yeah,
I don't use any of those, so I can't really,
okay.
I just use my usual stuff because I like it. Yes. I can't hear you.
And where do you, who makes up the canvas for you on your phone?
Oh, TC, I order Centurion from Jerry's. I order Centurion oil primed linen canvas. And it comes on a pad. 10 sheets was like $50 something. And it's just a wonderful thing to paint on. And then he mounts it on foam board for me to whatever size I need. Yeah. Somebody goes in there with a paint by number on canvas and has him do the same thing. So it's a cheaper alternative than buying stretch canvas, and you haven't got a lot invested. So if you have a bummer painting, you don't feel too bad about, because stretch linen canvas is very expensive. But these are wonderful things in a pad. I like them. I didn't hear the question. I know.
Spell neo-mildew.
Okay, hang on. It's NEOMEGILP.
Damn.
And it's a thick thing like jelly. I mean, it's just thick. It's like jelly. I love it. I've been using it for years. Huh? Yeah, but I don't put a thick coat, just a thin coat. And then when I go back in it after a straw, I put another thin coat, and then, usually that's all it takes. But sometimes it takes a third time to go into it and do it. I'm sorry, I'm deaf.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't use linseed oil or anything like that.
I don't. Oh, I got some today though. I wanted to try lavender spike oil. So you could get a set for real cheap. So I ordered that. So I haven't used it yet, but I've got it. But I don't think I'm going to love it. But now the lavender spike oil, I think I will love. It's highly recommended. Instead of odorless mineral spirits for cleaning your brushes and using as a medium. And if you mix a little bit of that spike oil with linseed oil, it'll thin your oil paints down to like a watercolor consistency. So if you want to paint very like a watercolorist and then go back in and pasto, that allows you to do so. But I've not tried it yet. I'm just telling you what I know. Yes.
Talk a little bit about those two things.
Well, these are both of these paintings are oil paintings on that oil primed linen canvas. This is behind glass because I just felt it looked better with a mat around it. So TC did the framing for me on that one, but that is an oil painting behind glass. And this is just a regular, just like that one. But they're both on those linen sheets. Yes, ma'am. Oh, you go to Black Mountain Fairy Hair and get it done. Black Mountain, North Carolina. And that's all they do. They don't cut hair. They don't do anything. And you have to have an appointment because they stay booked. It's not glitter. It's silk strands or whatever they call it. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm due for a refresher, actually. Anybody else? Yes. Huh? Yeah. I was at JFM a couple weekends ago and got some on a Saturday. They're not normally there on Saturday, but I drove in there and they were open, so I got some frames. Yeah, they're moving their location. So I think that's why they were there on a Saturday. They were packing up, but the guy was somewhere there. It's just a different location. Yeah. JFM. You have to have a wholesale license to get it. I mean, you have to have a business license.
Tell
So-
the people at home, the question was, where do you get your frames?
Huh?
Tell the people at home, the question was, where do you get your frames?
Oh, the question was, where do I get my frames? Well, honestly, I'll get them at an antique shop. I don't care where I get them, but certain frames I like to get from JFM, which is in Norcross, Georgia. So that's it. That's it. No other questions?
Thank you so much, Barbara. We really appreciated that. It was a joy to watch you paint.
Thank you.
Y'all can come up and look a little closer when you're done to see her painting if you'd like. Before you go, we're going to ask you to help us with our drawings.
Number
for
14.
Number 14. Well, listen to her.
How many do I pick? That's
Uh,
the question.
3. So number 14 is first. That's Diana Johnson. Diana. Can you take that to her? Barbara, can you take that? Thank you. Okay. And
Do I get another one?
you do 2 more, please. 1 more.
24.
24, Ryan Fox.
All right.
One more, please.
How far does it go up?
It goes all the way to, hang on just a second. My hands will work. To 50.
50.
Kay Fox. So funny because she forgot to sign in and she just whispered to us back there, can you put my name down? So she was number 50. Well, we really appreciate you. Yvonne, do you have some more to say? Okay.
Well, thank you so much for coming tonight. This has been a wonderful presentation. We all enjoyed watching you do that beautiful piece of artwork, particularly fascinating for me since I'm not an artist, I'm a photographer.
Oh,
So just to see
That's
it
an
come to
artist.
life. Well, it
you know,
is,
there's
yes.
some photographers in here that might argue with you.
I know. I call myself a photographer, but anyway, it was fun for me to see that come to life like that. But thank you so much for coming. Yes. So our April speaker will be Rebecca Horn. She's a member of our group. You probably all know her, and she's going to be speaking on the topic of abstract art. She does some beautiful abstract art, so I'm sure you'll all be excited to come see her and what she's going to talk about. So remember to check out the sign-up sheets on the table for the juried show, as well as pick up those postcards and posters for distribution. I look forward to seeing everyone at our next gathering, which is the annual show reception on March 23rd. So don't forget, we don't have a Monday meeting for March. It's the juried show. And Ciara will be here for a bit afterwards. If you still need to get registered, need help with registering your artwork, she's over here at the table and can help you register if you brought your stuff on a flash drive. So make sure and stop by. So I guess that's it. If anybody else has any other questions or anything to report. All right. The February meeting of the Crooked Creek Art League is now adjourned.